Sean Bean has expressed interest in returning as Ned Stark, and there is one upcoming Game of Thrones spin-off show that would allow it to happen. Bean's Ned Stark defined Game of Thrones in myriad ways. The actor was the biggest name attached when the show was just beginning on HBO. Ned's shocking death in Season 1, Episode 9 proved that no character was safe and set in motion major plot points. And by Game of Thrones ending, Ned's remaining children were all winners of the game in one way or another. Ned may have only appeared in 12% of the show's episodes, but his legacy was there until the very end. That makes the idea of seeing the character once again an interesting, if difficult, proposition. Hey guys, welcome to my channel. Please don't forget to like and subscribe and also click on the notification bell to remain updated. Bean expressed interest in returning as Ned Stark, saying it would be nice to be involved if there were a way for him to appear on screen again. While characters have come back from the dead before, there is no suggestion that would happen with Ned, and he obviously cannot appear in many of the Game of Thrones spin-offs in development. Still, with what HBO has planned, there's one route that would not only allow Ned to return, but could even be a good idea. Ned Stark isn't alive during the timelines of prequels such as House of the Dragon or A Knight of the Seven Kingdoms, The Hedge Knight, but he could appear in the Game of Thrones sequel about Jon Snow. Yes, it's true that Ned isn't alive in that particular timeline either, barring a twist that would make Bran Stark becoming king look tame, but a return for Ned via flashbacks or dreams in the Jon Snow show would make sense. Not a lot is known about the sequel story, but it needs to address Jon Snow's Targaryen heritage more than Game of Thrones did, and reflect on all the trauma he now has. Ned would fit with that. It was, after all, Ned who made the decision to raise Jon as his own son, telling no one of his parentage, in order to keep a promise to Lyanna. Indeed, the last time Jon saw his supposed father, he was told that the next time they would talk about his mother. Jon, thinking back to his time with Ned, while simultaneously struggling with the weight of his actions in killing Daenerys Targaryen and whether it was the right, honorable choice, something Ned instilled in him more than anyone, could mean revisiting past conversations. He could look to his father for guidance, or be troubled by dreams of him, allowing Ned to return one last time. There's obviously a risk involved because his death was so good and it would be unwise to harm that moment, but flashbacks or dreams wouldn't do so if done right. Much of the mystery around Jon was about his parentage, but Ned was his true father, the man who really shaped him as a person. Seeing how Jon, scarred with trauma and loss, reflects upon his legacy and whether he did right by Ned, while at the same time questioning Ned's own choices, could allow for emotional and introspective flashbacks or dreams to add more context and weight to their relationship and Jon's lineage. If Sean Bean weren't to return for Game of Thrones' Jon Snow sequel, and it is admittedly a long shot, despite potential narrative value, then there's little scope for him to come back. That doesn't mean, however, that Ned Stark himself can't still appear. As it stands, there are no current plans for a Robert's Rebellion spin-off, but it is one of the most speculated upon and wished for choices from fans. As HBO continues to expand the world of Westeros on the small screen, then it may become increasingly likely that the story, which is the most obvious Game of Thrones prequel to possibly do, though not necessarily the best, will be told, and that necessitates Ned Stark. Whether a Robert's Rebellion prequel should happen is another matter, since much of the story was already revealed in Game of Thrones, either through conversations or in Bran's visions. But if HBO wanted to bring back some of its biggest characters in a show that would likely be a serious hit, then it would be a simple choice. It wouldn't allow for Bean to return, unless it added in a framing device that allowed him to appear, but it's the other viable way of bringing Ned back to Game of Thrones. Thanks for watching. Please don't forget to like this video and drop comments. And most importantly, don't forget to subscribe and hit the notification bell so you don't miss anything.